Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setups for today. So, onwards and upwards, I suppose, is what we've had. The weekly bar so far has been very bullish. You look at it that way, and ultimately, there are two weekly scenarios here which could very well play out, and they are as follows. So, we have firstly a double bottom here. There's the neckline. So could argue that this is a retest of it and the moving averages. We're starting to get crossover of one of the moving averages. So we'd obviously want all of them crossed over. So it looks like this, blue, red, purple. We don't have that yet. And then the other situation here is we have a shoulder. This area here is a left shoulder. We have a double head. And now we are forming a right shoulder. So a break and retest of 14,700, which should break through this structure here that happened from last year. And this is the third attempt at it, 1, 2, 3. So we're having a fourth attempt at this area, but it's basically irrelevant because last year we had multiple attempts to break down through this area before we eventually broke down. So this 14,700, 14,750 zone is critical. It is going to offer a lot of resistance, but the key here is we get above it and we find support. It's going to also start offering a lot of support because it is obviously some psychological level that everybody is very keen to pay attention to. So from our perspective on the intraday charts at the moment, we could have a breakaway gap forming. We'll have to wait till the close of price action tomorrow before we can ascertain that. We do have a holding of the 155 EMA, which basically happened in December, and now we've got this breakaway. We've also got a crossover in the moving averages here. So a lot of bullish sentiment here. We're in an area of what I would expect to be resistance, if you look to the left there. So I would expect some kind of a pullback. So what that basically means to me is I need to add these two levels in here. I need to see a pullback into this area for a buying opportunity. Don't like the way the oscillators are looking at the moment as well to continue to the upside. But again, on the 3-hour look here, we had a rejection of the area and then basically rejected the rejection, continued up. We are really overbought at the moment on the oscillator, so I would much prefer a pullback onto structure before jumping in on this. But we could have the same situation forming here. You can see 3 pin bars in a row. Your trade would have been on the break of the pin bars, never happened. So at the moment you've got a hanging man, you've got a spinning top, you've got an engulfing bar here. So there's some structure here that is indicating a move to the downside. But because we're above the moving averages, I do not trade in that direction. So the trade is to the upside. We've got a gap down here in this area as well, which you need to pay attention to. So just drilling down to the hour, I mean, this is the important one here. What we have in actual fact is just get straight to the 15-minute because that's probably going to give you a better view. So you can see how we were fighting with this 14,495. I just want to see what the top here was. That was 14,500. Okay, so let's round that off to 14,500. That's the zone. If we get above 14,500 and we come back and retest it, that is an opportunity for longs today. This is looking like a bit of a flag, and that is kind of what you need to trade it as. So you're looking for a break above 14,500, a retest of it, then you should get a move equal to this move up of yesterday. And let's just see where that takes us. Be from there, and it takes us to that 14,700 area. So I think that's kind of the trade that I have on the cards for today. What we're waiting for is a break above 14,500, a retest of 14,500 for a continuation to the upside. Your stop area is below the structure that is formed, so your stop is going to be somewhere in this 14,430, 14,429 area. So that gives you a 79-point stop loss for a 190-point gain. So that is kind of the view that we have today. For any shorts to happen for me today, we're going to have to take out the low of yesterday, to be honest, before I'm worried about that. Even a pullback down into this zone here, 14,300, would still give me an opportunity to buy, because that would just set up the structure on the hour, which would be a much better structure. But if you look at that, look at the oscillators on the hour, they're separating. Remember what I say, when they do separate like that, and they cross over, there's always an explosive move. And this is it's the same pattern for the week. So it's move up, flag, up, big flag, up, flag, up. So that's kind of the structure that I'm looking at the moment. Just watch this 14,500 area. That's the break you need. You need a decent 15-minute break and close, and possibly retest, preferably retest on that. I don't think I'd just take the break, but the move is strong, so you have to see how that break is. If it's a solid candle break above it, then it's well worth taking the risk. Just a low position size with a tight, you can't have a really tight stop, but it'll be below the structure, and then you're looking for that to happen. Anyway, that's kind of my view today. I hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.